Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome to today's episode of 49 Faithfullee. We're your hosts, Miriah Lee and Teran Lewis. TL, what's up? How you doing?
What's up? I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm hanging in there, hanging in there.
Yeah.
Want to say what's up to everybody out there. Ty, first in the door. What's up? We appreciate you. Um, Before we start, I did want to start by saying, obviously, I forgot on the instant reaction show because so much had happened. But shout out to the Las Vegas Aces. They won the championship. We had our parade on Tuesday. Vegas showed out. The strip was packed. So that was good to see the support. That team's just freaking awesome. Like I had such a good time watching them throughout the playoffs and, in the finals and
Hmm.
um, the addition of Becky Hammond, it just man, that team is just tremendous. So shout outs to them. They brought Vegas the very first championship parade, the very first championship from any pro sports was done now by the Las Vegas Aces. So that'll always go down in history as something pretty cool. So
Yeah.
shouts
Was
out
this
to them.
Becky Hammond's first year as a coach?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. First year, first she got coach of the year and commissioner's cup coach. She like won freaking everything that you could
Won
think of.
everything.
And then the
And
championship too.
it's crazy. And then
Yep.
her herself as a WNBA player was an absolute beast.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
good.
awesome.
I'm happy for her. I thought she would get an NBA job, but I'm glad that she went where she was. I mean, she's just
And
doing
that
her thing. And first for her being her first year, that's awesome.
yeah, I mean, and that's what they need too. They need to have the girls that play, in the WNBA to then cycle through and become coaches. Like they need to keep their own talent in there.
Yeah.
Um and give, those ladies an opportunity once they end up retiring from the game. Like I'm sure
Mhm.
Sue Bird, if this is her last year playing, she's going to retire. I'm sure like
Oh,
they would
for
be a
sure.
fool not to have her become a coach.
Hmm.
So like things like that, yeah. Um,
Nice.
so I did want to start off by reading something before we jump into our thoughts about this win over the Seahawks. And obviously, this win over the Seahawks, like this is something normally that like I would be the most excited about, right? Is beating the Seahawks. Like that's the team I can't stand. And so to beat the Seahawks normally this week after the game, like I would have been so hyped usually, right? But obviously the win and I feel like the players that shined in this game and everything has obviously got, shadowed by obviously Trey Lance's injury. Which that kind of sucks. So obviously we are going to touch on that, but we have to moving forward support our team that's here healthy and celebrate the guys that are on the field playing. And of course, we're going to continue to talk about Trey and follow along his recovery and all that, but we do have to, focus on the players that are playing for the 49ers right now. Um, so before we get into it, though, our friend Jesse Naylor from Last Second Sports, he had tweeted this. When was this? Yesterday, I think. And so I want before we get into talking, I did want to start out with this. And it says, because me and you, obviously, we talk about such a variety of things, right? Like off of the show, from business, from decisions that I'm going to do, on the podcast to our spouses, to our families, to anything, right?
Hmm.
Um, so things that we discuss, it's funny because we'll talk about something, whether it's like something we see happening with other content creators, something we see happening on Twitter with the fan base or people or whatever. And then all of a sudden it starts other people, then we start seeing, oh, now this person's talking about that, or this seems like this person's now realizing what we have been talking about, like so Jesse had posted, people try hard not to ruffle feathers when covering teams or talking sports. Just say what you are actually thinking. Stop catering to what you think people want to hear. Playing both sides forever is impossible, and when people see the fakeness, they will expose it. Be real.
That's what I gotta say to that
God.
tweet. That's what I gotta say to that tweet. Amazing.
So this is something that we've been talking about, right? Like
Yeah.
that we've noticed that there's some content creators that seem to, I guess, shy away from saying what they really think or what they really feel, because instead they're saying what they think people out there want to hear, what's going to draw people to watch their show instead. Like maybe if they say what they really think or say what they really feel about somebody on the team or about a coach or about the team, then the people out there are going to get mad and not want to watch their show or something, right? Or
Yeah.
that, or they feel like they have maybe opportunities down the road to work with the 49ers or to interview players on the 49ers. And if they say something bad about somebody, well, then that's going to cut their chances of ever doing work with that person or people they know or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So, as we've told you guys many times, like we're going to be here and we're going to, yeah, exactly. We're going to be here and we're going to tell you guys exactly how we're feeling, what we feel. We were even going back and forth in the chat with people that we're really close with last week, right? And at the end of the show, Denise says, I just want you guys to know it's all love, right? She even messaged me after the show. Like, I hope you and TL aren't upset with me. And like, it's never going to become personal. Like, so I would expect that you guys watching would know and are going to respect that we're keeping it real. And if we say something that you guys don't agree with, that you're going to just take it as that, okay, we don't see eye to eye on that, but let's move forward and, still support each other at the end of the day. Like that's my hopes. So I don't know. Did you want to touch on anything about that?
No, I mean, you know how I felt when I brought it up last month and stuff. And yeah, and I get it. I mean, there's people who have like, who do this full time and they use this to feed their families and stuff like that. But at the same time, you still got to be real. Like to me, I don't care what the situation is. I'm not going to be fake and not keep it real just to put some cash in my pocket. Like that's not me. I'm going to do what I do, period, point blank. So to each their own. If you feel like you don't want to ruffle any feathers and you want to just chill because, oh, I might want to have Eric Armstead on my podcast one day. And okay, I get it. But at the same time, I'm never going to not be who I am because I'm trying to go somewhere in life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's just me. Like I'm always going to keep it 100 with everybody on here. And you're right. Like I don't care if I say something and you guys in the chat are like, oh, Teran, you're delusional and blah blah blah. I really don't care. But at the same time, I'm not gonna feel some type of way about you and be like, oh, screw Joseph Mahoney or Ty Austin because they don't agree with me. Like if we all agreed, this life would be boring.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own opinions, and you can always have your own. Exactly, Courtney. Everybody has their own opinions. You're allowed to have your own opinions. And for people who get upset with other people's opinions or foolishness, as long as you're being respectful, I don't care what you say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say about that.
Yep. So let's say what's up to everybody that's joined us, and then we'll get into what you guys are obviously here for, some 49ers talk. So what's up, Joel, Courtney, David, Dina, you're welcome. She said she loves your shirt as well.
I appreciate that.
Media, what's up? You're welcome. Pinor. Brandon, what's up, B? Making our way. Rick, good afternoon, good evening. Yep, good evening, I guess.
I'll just
Mahoney
use you for an example.
catching some
Catching
stray
some
bullets
strays.
there.
Yeah. Those are the two first names I saw in the chat, so I just use you guys as an example. No love lost.
Christy, Tia, my wife, my daughter.
Nice.
What's up, Mike? All right. So, yeah, like as I said, we obviously kicked Seattle's ass, so that's always a plus. It's a great week when we do that. obviously, they didn't have Russell Wilson, so that was a big change going against them. And,
Yeah.
we face him this week, so we'll get into him a little bit later. But um, now that you've had time to sit back and, you know, think things over and everything, with Trey, and shouts out to him. He made it through surgery, had a successful surgery. So, he'll stay in our prayers and well wishes to him, that he continues to heal up and that he has no setbacks, obviously. But how are your feelings, with that? Obviously, there's a lot of people calling for Kyle's job and
Hmm.
all this, So, what are your overall feelings on everything? How are you feeling?
Tough. I'm gonna go with Courtney here. A bittersweet win.
Wait, hold
I
on
mean,
real quick.
mhm.
Before you go, shout out to my daughter. They were just at the DMV right now, so she was taking
Driver's
her
license.
written test, her
Oh,
permit test. So she just said she passed. So
oh, nice.
congratulations on that. Now she'll be
That's
trying to
awesome.
drive my car and be crazy all over the road. So
Hmm. Ain't
watch
never
out,
gonna be home.
Vegas. She
Ain't
passed.
never, ain't never gonna be home.
Everybody stay inside. My daughter's going to be on the roads now.
Oh,
All right,
I'm
go
glad we
ahead.
live on. I'm glad we live on opposite ends of the
Yeah.
town.
You're like, I'm glad I'm in Henderson.
Man. So yeah, I'm gonna just piggyback off of Courtney here and Pinor. Um, bittersweet for sure. You mentioned it. You hit the nail on the head. The Seahawks are one of the teams I hate the most. Them in Dallas. Um, and I mentioned it. I think it was on with locker room rant. The reason why I hate the Seahawks so much is because of the when Navarro Bowman tore his ACL and the fans were throwing bottles at him while he was being pulled out on the gurney.
Yeah.
That pissed me off. So
Hmm.
like you would sit here and think like, oh man, like it's 27-7, like we haven't put a beat down on them like that ever. And even when we have beat them in the past, it's been nail biters. Like the Dre Greenlaw at the 1 yard
Yeah.
line. It's always been nail biter. We've never been able just to sit there and just smash them like that. So I'm happy as a Niners fan. I'm just sad. I'm still heartbroken for Trey because and I know injuries happen. It's not about the injury to me. I just keep going back and looking at the play, and because I have it recorded and looking at the play and stuff like that, and I just I'm like, man, this kid is like, I'm gonna keep it real here. Like, is he ever even going to have a chance to quarterback for the 49ers? Because the simple fact of the matter is this, and I won a Super Bowl. So let me get this out the way right now. I won a Super Bowl. I'll be 43 in almost exactly a month. I haven't had a Super Bowl since I was 15 years old. A Super Bowl victory. It's time. I want one regardless who the quarterback is. I want to be able to say my team has 6 Super Bowl rings as well. We're always the gold standard. We always, it was always us that had the most Super Bowls, and we got surpassed by the Patriots. We got surpassed by the Steelers, and I was always pissed off about that. Like, man, we got passed up. So what bothers me with the whole situation is, and I always used to sit there and think, like, man, Trey has come to the perfect situation. Super Bowl roster, a good play caller, but nobody really ever sat back and thought like, is he a good quarterback developer?
Hmm.
That's one thing that I never really, because I was just so happy about the situation. You know what I'm saying? So the fact of the matter is, and I've said this before, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. Am I glad that Jimmy's on this team? Yes, because he does. To me, after Trey, he gives us the best chance to win. I'd rather see him out there than Purdy, and I'd rather see him out there than Nate Sudfeld. However, this is hindering Trey's development, point blank, period. One, I don't feel this locker room is fully supporting Trey. I've heard some of these press conferences with Eric Armstead talking about how he's our savior. Jimmy G's our savior. I've heard, and my boy Kyle Juszczyk, who I love as a football player, sit here and say, "Oh, it felt great when Jimmy got in. Now it feels like Niner football." Like those are the snarky
Hmm.
comments that I do not like from these veterans. And I feel like you look at Bill Belichick, he did the right thing. And I know Cam Newton, didn't take the Patriots anywhere, but the simple fact is you got rid of a quarterback controversy. You said he's gone. Mac Jones is my guy. Kyle never fully. I don't care what happened in the offseason. I don't care that he said, "Oh, I'm going to hand over the keys to Trey and blah blah blah," whatever the case may be. Even Jimmy saying his goodbyes, but at the end of the day, he stayed on his team. Now you got vets, and I get so as a vet, I understand. I get that they're like, man, I'm in my prime. You got Trent Williams, you got the Fred Warners, the Jimmy Wards, who are feel like, man, like I'm in my prime. This is what this is what I want to do. This is a Super Bowl roster. So I get it. You're like, man, we may miss out on a Super Bowl win because we have to worry about the development of a quarterback. I get it. But at the end of the day, Kyle's the coach.
Yeah.
He should have ended this whole thing, whenever we had the opportunity to back in March, April, and got rid of this dude. And I feel like it would have made Trey feel that much more comfortable. But the fact that he doesn't have support of the whole locker room, Kyle's play calling for him is not fair. He doesn't call the same game plan for Trey. And I get it. They're different quarterbacks, but why can't Trey have screen passes? Why can't Trey have stuff over the middle like Jimmy? Why does his always have to be, him running up the middle or him having to run play? He was scheduled to have, if he would have kept his pace for season, he would have had 205 rushes. That's insane for a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He was on pace to have 13 after this game, and he had, I think, 14 in week 1. I'm not feeling that. And then 2, here's the other thing. If we do make a playoff run, let's say we go to the NFC Championship, Super Bowl, or even win the Super Bowl, what's going to happen? Now the veterans are going to be like, oh, you can't get rid of Jimmy now. He's won us a Super Bowl. He helped us get to the Super Bowl. And that means Trey Lance will still he'll be on the team still, but now he'll be the backup again and be like, well, we won with Jimmy. You have to be patient. This and that. So I feel like they're hindering this kid more than helping him. And I'm gonna keep it a buck here. If Jimmy's back next year, and this is for Trey, not for me. For Trey's development, I would say, you know what? I feel like you don't know how to use me. I feel like you're playing with my emotions as a 23-year-old kid. Well, he will be next May, and then I'd ask for a trade. Send me to a coach who's going to use me. Send me to a coach that plays to my strengths, because it pisses me off that they play to Jimmy's strengths. Throwing these little dink and dunk passes over the middle, but they don't play to Trey's. And I don't mind. And here's the thing: running Trey, I have no issue with that, long as it's bootleg, outside the tackles type of runs. These inside the tackles runs to me are crazy. So I think for setting up, and it's funny too. Like I used to coach football to junior high, but I was on the defensive end. But at the end of the day, I know football. To get your young quarterback comfortable, why don't you just give him the Jimmy gimmies, just like they say? Why not give him some screens to Debo and IU? Why don't you let him get comfortable? So he's like, okay, cool, I'm getting some passes. I'm in a rhythm. So now you can go deep. That's why you went and got you a Danny Gray. That's why you went and got you a Ray McLeod for situations like this, so Trey can throw down the field. And this hasn't even been like this. Like I said, I know it's only been 5 quarters this season, and maybe Kyle just was like trying to get a feel of how he can use Trey. But you hit the nail on the head 2 episodes ago. Where are these plays that he was writing down on the airplane after leaving that pro day?
Mm-hmm.
Where are the plays in practice that Jimmy Ward and Fred Warner and some of the other vets said that Trey's out there torching this first team defense? And it wasn't with his legs, it was with his arm. If we have a top 5 defense and Trey is torching these guys, why can't you use him to throw the ball in real football games? That's all I have to say.
Yeah, and that's my thing, is that everybody, like, I've heard so much people are saying, well, because Trey couldn't throw. That's why Kyle is making him run, because he didn't trust him to throw. And it's like, I don't know how you could actually listen to, people that know what they're talking about. Quarterback coaches and, people that have studied the position. When they watch Trey, not some freaking guy that used to be a safety in the NFL freaking 10 years ago and shit. People that study the quarterback position, quarterback coaches, his quarterback coaches. When you listen to them talk about Trey and the throws that Trey's able to make, they say that there's only 5 other fucking quarterbacks in this league that can make those throws. So, and when you watch with your own eyes, like stop listening to people that are wanting you to believe some sheep freaking stories. Watch with your own eyes. Like, can you not see him make the throws? Like, I don't know how you can watch what he's put on film and say, oh, well, I think that Kyle must not trust him to make the throws because he can't throw. Like, what are we talking about? Like, it's just such ridiculous things out there, and like I listen to Croc and he'll say, that even from his time, since he was in the NFL, since, even before that, that he has never seen a player that's played such little time get the scrutiny that Trey Lance gets. And it's just crazy. It's crazy. Like, I don't know. Why Kyle uses him like that? Who knows? Is it because he doesn't trust him? I don't know, but it's not because Trey Lance can't make the throws. It might be a trust thing, but it's surely not because Trey Lance can't make the throws. Let's just,
Exactly.
put that out there. Like, it's just crazy. Like, oh, well, I
Yeah.
think that probably Trey can't throw. So probably it's his accuracy. Well, have you watched him? Like, and as Kyle said in his presser, if you actually watched other football teams play, you would see that quarterbacks like Josh Allen, Mahomes, they're missing throws just the same that Trey Lance does. Like, if you think they're throwing, again, like out there 32 for 32, like, you're sadly mistaken. Josh Allen throws at least 5 balls in the dirt a freaking game.
Oh, for sure.
Mahomes is sailing passes all game long. Yet people aren't saying, oh, they have accuracy issues. Mahomes has the worst mechanics out of a quarterback that I've ever seen in my life. Yet nobody's talking about his mechanics ever, right? Because they just see that he's out there like making all these wow throws. Yet Trey Lance doesn't get that same, we can't even give
Yeah.
him the chance. Like,
Yeah.
oh, well, we've seen you play one game in a freaking monsoon, so that's it. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's
And
weird.
like
It's really weird.
I know what me and Jesse were talking on Spaces the other day too, and I look at it and I always point back to that Houston Texans game. There's no way I can look at that Houston Texans game and think that Trey Lance hasn't regressed.
Yeah.
Like and Jesse brought up was like that's a game I feel like he played the best in, and at the same time that's a game he ran the least. He didn't run much, Yeah, the first half didn't look too well, but he still was 10 for 13 regardless. I mean, that's a high percentage. Then when he got comfortable in that second half and Kyle was and finally that was that moment, that second half when he was throwing balls all over the field, he was hitting numerous receivers. He wasn't just pinpointing it to one guy. He had that nice throw over the middle to Kyle Juszczyk to George Kittle. He had that third and down play over to Juwan Jennings. It was a bit low, but Juwan Jennings had to bend down to catch and stuff like that. But he
Mm-hmm.
threw it before Juwan Jennings even started breaking into his route. So the ball was there as soon as he turned around. Then you had that nice throw to Debo and just stuff like that where you see stuff, where you saw stuff and you're like, man, okay, maybe finally Kyle knows how to use this dude. He finally got comfortable with it. And now you look at it and now we're in this position. And like I said, I just feel bad for the kid because to go to Pine Nor, what he was saying, what makes me think we can win a sixth Super Bowl ring. I have faith in his defense. His defense just looks good, and we all know once you get into the playoffs, things can go your way sometimes. Sometimes you get that lucky bounce, or I mean, we saw it in the Packers game when we blocked a punt, stuff like that. So, I don't. What I will say is, I don't believe in Jimmy's arm to get us to a Super Bowl. But if Jimmy just can be Trent Dilfer or Nick Foles, and just not limit the turnovers, if this run game starts to come on, which was running great against Seattle, 7 yards a clip, and then yet you still have an option for Trey to run between the tackles on 2nd and 8, which was crazy to me. So that's one thing I have a issue with Kyle too, is that when stuff is working well, he goes away from it. Like, I understand you have a game script, but keep going with what's working.
Yeah.
7 yards a clip, and you have all these running backs, and yet you're using your quarterback like one. So, do I think we can win a sixth Super Bowl ring? I do, even with Jimmy at quarterback, because I just feel like this defense is the best we've had since probably 2012. This defense looks good, and we don't even have Jimmy Ward back there yet. So once he comes back, and I think the pass rush has played good, but I don't think they've blown the doors off yet.
Right.
Once they start getting into a rhythm and Chris Cosera starts finding his guys in the way he did towards the end of the season last year, I think this defense is going to be lights out, maybe averaging, giving up maybe 17 points a game. And I think that Kyle can score at least 17 or more. So I just think that's the only reason why I have faith that we can win the Super Bowl. But again, it's going that to me, and people can think what they want. Oh, you're crazy. That's going to be bittersweet to me because I'm gonna be happy. Obviously, I'm gonna be happy because we're at a Super Bowl ring. But at the same time, I'm passionate about players at the same time, and everybody for the most part has had so many high hopes for this kid, and I guarantee you if we go far in the playoffs, if we lose in the first round in the wild card weekend, okay, then it'll be whatever. But if we go to an NFC championship, go to a Super Bowl, whether we win or lose, Jimmy will be back on this team. You can mark my words because Kyle's going to get all this stuff from the players, the coaches. How can we go back to Trey? He's coming off an injury. Jimmy just helped us get to a Super Bowl. How can we go away from that? You know what I mean? And these players are going to be trying to go to bat for him. So now that makes 4 years of Trey not playing organized football. You know what I'm saying? And that's just going to hint. And I get it. Everybody says, well, he's only 22. Joe Burrow didn't come into – that's not the point. Joe Burrow came in older, but he played football. You know what I'm saying? You got Trey who got hurt. Now he's going to miss – he hasn't played a full organized games, as far as a season since 2019. Now we're going to be going into 23. And like I mentioned before, this – offseason to me, this last offseason was horrendous. Oh, is Jimmy coming back? You guys are crazy from going away from Trey. This and that. He's not ready. Same conversation in 2023, except now he's not ready. He hasn't played, and he's coming off an injury. It makes me sick.
Yeah. To me, the whole thing with that, though, I don't think personally that Jimmy will want to come back here. Like, after all the dirty shit that this team has done, and then putting him, down to quarterback 4, waiting to the last minute to try to get a trade offer, and then, no, we can't do nothing. Now making you take a pay cut in your salary after already replacing you for your starting job, putting you as a backup quarterback to the guy we replaced you with. After you already said your goodbye press conference, all this shit, and you think that man's going to want to come back to this team when they're there then begging him to come back? I don't think so.
I hope you're right, Miriah. I hope you're right.
I don't see it.
Stranger things happen. he stayed. I don't know if he felt he had a good chance of playing some games this year or what, but he came back on $7.5 million, which I felt like he could have got that from another team. So I don't know. It's crazy to me. I feel like he has some kind of stronghold on this team, and they don't want to let this man go.
I don't know. I'm not buying into that. Let's see when it happens. I don't think that, honestly, I want to win a Super Bowl, but we replaced this guy because he couldn't do it. So what makes all of a sudden now everybody's like, oh, when we win a Super Bowl this year, this is going to happen. We haven't been able to. That's why they replaced this guy. So I don't know why all of a sudden we're just going to go out and win one with him. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I think we had way better Super Bowl chances with Trey as quarterback. Like, I'm mad that I even bet money for this team to win the Super Bowl, honestly, at this point. And we have a good defense, but that's not, I just don't think that the team, we're already down to picking up running backs off the streets, and it's the third week. We already lost our starting quarterback. Like, I don't know. Like, I think we're going to go far. I just don't think we're going to win a Super Bowl. I just don't see
it's
that.
becoming a pattern with Kyle and his running backs. Like, people can sit there and say what they want, but I'm like, okay, like, it's not just an unfortunate injury anymore. Like, there's too many stuff that happens with these running backs that's showing that maybe it's the problem with this team and how they're running them or whatever the case may be. Because I don't see anybody else. We had it last year with Baltimore. They had a bunch of injuries and stuff, but you look at, what happened. Breida was always hurt. Mostert. Now we got TDP hurt, Elijah Mitchell, and like you said, we're bringing in Marlon Mack, who's a solid pickup. But how's that going to work out? Like, hopefully him and Jordan Mason can hold it down, and Jordan Mason and Jeff Wilson can hold it down. Because if we lose another running back, like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, they signed Tevin Coleman to the practice squad, like somebody we got rid of years ago. Like, It's yeah. Um, I had sent you this last night, and yeah, this I agree with Emiliano here. If you guys haven't watched it, on Eric Crocker's channel, he had an interview last night with Quincy Avery, which is the quarterback coach of Trey Lance. He's worked with Trey, works with Hurts, he's worked with Fields, um, Deshaun Watson. So he's on there, and they talked to him about about him working with Trey, what he's seen. And he talks about how Trey Lance and Hurts like have this thing with their drive, their what's inside them to make them great, that they're like above, way up here above any other quarterbacks that he's ever worked with. So it's very good. Make sure you guys go check that out. He has a lot of good things to say. Um, and then the quarterback guru, Pinelli, that Croc normally does Croc and Pinelli shows with. He was on there, as usual. Once a week they do a show, so he always has great insight on the quarterbacks as well. And they talked about how they're going to be doing a show more, I guess, more frequently with Quincy as well, like breaking down. Quincy said once Trey gets in and starts playing again, next season and whatnot, that he would like to, do a show with them and break down Trey's film and all that. So that'll be pretty cool. But what's up to everybody that's joined us? I know I've seen a bunch of you guys join since. Swan, Ryan, Tanya, Shot J. I think I didn't pass anybody up there. Let's go back down the list, see if I missed anybody. 49er Minded, what's up, Bashar?
Sure.
Coming down. And I skipped lots of comments, so if you guys had some comments for us, just ask again, because I did save a couple of questions, though. But there's a whole bunch of stuff I missed, and I'm passing through it. Let's give our flowers for the game. I really don't want to spend any more time being sad and dwelling on this game.
Yeah.
So I wanted to show, we didn't do it last game because we were so heartbroken over the loss to Chicago that I got thrown all off track. So no, they didn't get any flowers because they lost to Chicago. So we'll move on to week 2 and give our flowers. A couple players that I want to start off. I'll do an offense and defense, and I'll throw it to you. I wanted to, on offense, I'm going to give mine, and this is somebody that I was not hoping that they would trade, but somebody that I wasn't specifically happy that they kept on the team, which was Jeff Wilson. He looked good. Like, he looked a lot better than what he's looked. He was able to go out there and obviously pretty much carry the load at running back. TDP had a few good runs, and then he got hurt sometime, and who knows. But yeah, I was impressed with what I saw out of Jeff Wilson. He looked like he had a little bit of burst back in him. And he was able to, like I said, to carry that game, like carry the run game. So my offensive flowers I'm going to give to Jeff Wilson. And then obviously for defense, I'm going to go with Hufanga. He's just been lights out, like both weeks, like if I had to go back to week 1 and who I'm going to give my flowers to, it would have been him as well, because that guy is just playing lights out. Like, he is everywhere on the field. Like, he is such a freaking like a ball hawk, a playmaker. He, everywhere the ball is, he's there. He's making the play. So it's like so awesome to see somebody like him running around. And yeah, like, I'm so excited to see what else he can do this season. And once Jimmy Ward gets back, what those two look like together.
Yeah. Good picks. So on offense, and Swan, I appreciate that, man. I'm far from being in my 20s, but so something that I had a huge problem with, and I was worried about it, and I know it's early, but I'm gonna go ahead and say Aaron Banks. Aaron Banks has been playing well. Like, he played well this last game, and I just hope he starts progressing. I think the interior line in general has played well. Him and Spencer Burford's been playing pretty well. So, but Aaron Banks, let me give you your props, man. I was kind of worried about that interior, but he's been playing pretty well. So, and then on defense, I'm gonna go with the other safety, Tashawn Gibson. I felt like he stepped in admirably for her Jimmy Ward. Even had an interception. It's going to be interesting when he comes back. Like, it seems like regardless, even if Jimmy Ward is back, I think he should be kept as a backup for sure. You know what I mean? He's been playing lights out. So, yeah, I got those two right now. And then my honorable mention, I'm going to also go with Samuel Womack. That guy, man, he's going to be a stud. Like,
Yeah.
I think, I can't remember the numbers, but I think he's only I think he's only allowed like one catch, if that. Like this has been nasty. So I can't wait to see what he turns into. But yeah, so those are my guys, Tashawn Gibson and Aaron Banks. I'm gonna go with offense and defensively.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Womack, obviously, I'm a huge fan of Womack. And I think just obviously with more reps and as time goes, he's just going to be great. I think he has his greatest test coming up. If, the wide receivers for the Broncos are healthy.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think that's great picks for you as well. I think that's all that we really have for the Seattle
Yeah,
game. I'm tired of talking about it and hearing about it.
yeah, same here.
Let's do a giveaway and then we will get into the Broncos. So for the giveaways today, if somebody guesses the number exactly right, they're going to get this autographed Tafunga card. So don't be guessing no stupid ass numbers, okay? Guess some good numbers so you can win something good.
And you hear what she said? Not who's the closest. You have to get it exactly right.
Yeah, whoever's the closest, of course, you're still gonna get,
You're gonna
something.
get
But
something.
on
Yeah.
top of it, if you guess it is exactly right, you're gonna get this on top of it. So good luck, everybody. Put your numbers in the chat, 1 through 100. No duplicates. Before we do that, let's go over what the injury report was, because there's a shit ton of people for the Broncos injured and important people. This was Wednesdays because when we were getting ready for the show, Thursdays hadn't come out yet. But so as of yesterday, Randy Gregory, these are all players for the Broncos that did not participate at all. Randy Gregory, Jerry Jeudy, DJ Jones, Quinn Myers, Darius Phillips, Pat Surtain, and then limited KJ Hamler, Josie Jewell, Caden Stearns. K'Wan Williams must have had a hurt wrist, but it says he's full to go. So, but yeah, so they have a bunch of important players on their team, starters for their team that didn't even participate in practice at all on Wednesday. We know Jerry Jeudy had got hurt during, their last game. Pat Surtain got hurt during that game. They said something came up with DJ Jones, his ankle, I guess, during practice. So yeah, I mean that's going to hurt them if Judy's out and Surtain
and Hamler. That's two of their top 3 receivers.
Yep. Yeah. And already they have their wide receiver already at the beginning of the season went out. So they were already down a wide receiver.
That's right. Tim Patrick got hurt, huh?
Yep. And then you figure they traded away their best tight end that they had in the trade for Russell Wilson. Yeah. So man, his weapons are looking very thin over there. For the 49ers, they did not participate yesterday was Eric Armstead, Brunskill, TDP, as we talked about, Tyler Kroft, and Trent Williams, but Trent Williams was just a rest day. George Kittle was limited. Let's talk about that real quick. I'm seeing this thrown around a lot that, of course, George Kittle's going to play this week because Jimmy Garoppolo's back. Let's just use some common sense here, okay? So last week, Kyle said he thought Kittle had a good chance of playing. but he couldn't even get out to practice. But he was on, moving up. Like his health was getting better. His injury was getting better. That's usually what happens, right? As time goes, the injury gets better. So this week, of course, Kittle's injury is going to be getting better. Regardless who's at quarterback, that injury, it's not just a made-up injury because Trey Lance was the quarterback. I know some of y'all seem to think that, but that's not the case. Kittle's not just going to sit because Trey Lance is quarterback, okay? Like, people are just talking crazy. No matter who was at quarterback this week, if Trey Lance didn't get hurt, Kittle was still going to be getting better. Meaning, his chances of coming back, either way, regardless who's behind center, are going to be greater this week because his injury is getting better. Common sense, people. Like, it's crazy. Oh, Kittle's just miraculously better because Jimmy G's quarterback. Like, come on. Like, people saying this, like, have you never had an injury before? Have you never gotten hurt? Like, it's crazy. And if you think that a professional football player, somebody that we've seen that, yeah, he might get injured, but that gives his all when he's on the football field in George Kittle. If you would think that he's not going to start the season out there with his brothers on the football field, doing what he loves, doing his job, and he's going to fake an injury because Trey Lance's quarterback, like, there has to be some screws loose in your head. Like, something has to be wrong with you. So instead of thinking that George Kittle's faking injury, you should probably go to the doctor and see that maybe you have an injury in your own head.
Yeah, I mean, I think you pretty much nailed it. I mean, one thing I will never question about Kittle is his love for football. That man loves football. Like when he's
Yeah.
out there, even when he's used as a blocker for 90% of the time, he's out there, throwing some nice blocks, pancaking people, and he loves it. Like he gets up laughing whenever he pancakes somebody. Like he
Yeah.
loves football. So I don't think, that conspiracy theory of, oh, he's not playing because Trey's a quarterback. So what? He was going to fake an injury for 17 games if Trey played the whole season. Like,
Right.
like, come on, people. Let's be smart here. Yeah, that's one thing I won't question. I know people were up in arms because they were pissed off because he was at WWE. Like the man still has a
Yeah.
life. Like just because he's watching wrestling doesn't mean he wasn't hurt. Like, come on now. Like it's crazy. So yeah, I think you nailed that one. Yeah, that's one thing I look at. I look at Kittle and his passion for football is like top notch. Like he loves the game. So
I just can't. All right, everybody have your numbers in so we can draw this and move on. Waruna was saying that.
hey, there's a lot of people who are saying it though. Like
I know there is. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah,
because
there's a
I've seen
lot
it
of people.
6,000 trillion freaking times.
Yeah.
Everybody got your numbers in? So Swan says that
Everybody
Hamler was limited at practice today.
Yeah.
Judy did not practice today. Surtain was back.
Mm-hmm.
Judy and Phillips didn't practice today.
Yeah,
so.
those are the only two that didn't. Yeah. So Judy, I think after Thursday, I think if you don't practice, I think for the most part, 80% of the time they put you on like questionable. So if he's not playing, that's a great thing for us because he's the number 2 guy after Sutton. So, and he's a good receiver. So yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Trying to look at these numbers here. Keep forgetting I'm using a different laptop. Keep grabbing my mouse. That's not it. Let me see here. Let me see where it started. It started at Patrick Willis's number. Okay.
All right, we're drawing, so hope you guys got your numbers in.
What we got here? Number 2, huh? Wow. Okay. Let me see. Let me go through these comments here. The lowest I see so far is 17. No, I see 16.
Swan has 5.
Woke. Oh yeah, Woke Niner 7. Swan 5. And is that the last number? Let me see.
That's it.
Yeah, Swan has 5. He's the closest.
Congrats. Let's see what you get. I didn't take the Trey Sermons out, so they're still in here. I'm gonna
Did
use
you?
them as a whammy card. No, if I draw a Trey Sermon, then I'll pull you something out of the other pile. But I didn't want to go through and be taking them all out. Don't worry, it's Trey, but it ain't Trey Sermon. It's Trey Lance, our man.
Nice.
Congrats. It's the good Trey, not the evil Trey. Has Trey Sermon been playing over there, or
With the
do we know?
Eagles, I was thinking
Yeah,
about that right now. I don't think so. I think I forgot the running back's name off the top of my head. He's been looking pretty good the last couple of weeks.
yeah, I know they have a pretty good running back squad. So I was surprised when they had got him. All right. Victory laps. See, you should have. 5 for Trey, 1 Trey.
No
All right,
sermon.
so getting into the Broncos, obviously we have, the return of our nightmares. Russell Wilson. Like, I hate this guy. Not on a personal level, but having to play against him.
Yeah.
He made me hate the Seahawks even more than just their fans did. Because like you can never count him out, right? Like it always felt like, okay, we got this game. There'll be like 45 seconds left, and like that guy finds a way to bring the freaking team down the field and score points somehow, right? Like, and then the most ridiculous way is like some bombs, some Hail Marys, some just crazy shit. Like he always finds a way just to get it done. And I feel like so many of my heartbreaks with the 49ers over the last how many ever years like has came at the expense of Russell Wilson. So I really hope that the 49ers can go in there, and if you've watched the Broncos, the last 2 weeks, like they have looked like shit.
Yes.
Even I think they won last week, right? But they
Yeah.
still look
Barely.
shitty.
Yeah.
So
They won 16-9 against the Houston
and like
Texans.
we said, they have a bunch of people hurt. Even if they did, practice whatnot, obviously they weren't healthy enough to practice all week, so they're not 100% healthy. And their receiving core is pretty ran down.
Yeah.
They have an amazing running back group. Williams is awesome. I think that if they could, and their coach is a freaking mess. Let's get that out there.
Yes.
But if they could actually just like lean on their running game and have just Williams do everything, like he could probably run them to some wins, But it don't seem like their coach is smart enough to get anything figured out. I don't know if him and Russell Wilson are on the same page, but it just seems to not be clicking with him yet over there. Like he's made some crazy play calls, like probably the worst play calls like I've seen in a long time.
Yes.
How you feeling about this game? What are your thoughts on having to face Russell Wilson, even though we thought we were getting rid of him?
Yeah.
All
It's
that
like we
good
get
stuff.
and then we gotta play him in his
You're
at his
muted.
stadium too. Oh, can you hear me now? Can people in the chat hear me?
Maybe I just can't hear you. Talk.
How about now?
Oh yeah.
You can hear me? Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Yeah, they haven't looked good, and yeah, if somebody mentioned in the chat like he slowed down a little bit, but I don't know. I don't really think it's him. I think it's just like you said, the play calling has been horrendous, and they just beat a team, and I'm not gonna say that they suck, but the Houston Texans been playing pretty well. Like their defense is good, so they barely beat them 16-9. So it's gonna be an interesting game. I know we have some players on that team, and K'Wan Williams and DJ Jones that are gonna be familiar with us.
Yeah.
So that's something we can't overlook. Like they know our tendencies, and they know the tendencies of Jimmy. So it could be one of those things. I wouldn't be surprised if K'Wan, if he plays, if he got an interception because he knows what's going down. So, like I said on the locker room, are we doing predictions right now or no? No. So I don't know. I think
Well, yeah, we can.
Okay, yeah,
Chat, go ahead and give me your guys' predictions as
get
well.
predictions.
Tanya won the prediction last week, by
She
the way.
did, yeah. So if I'm gonna get a prediction, I'm gonna stick with. So before the season started, I had us going 11-6, and this was a game that I had penciled that we were gonna lose. I don't care who was a quarterback. I just felt like this team is tough. We're going into their stadium where the air is thinner, and all this other stuff. So, and I'm going to stick with that. I don't think it'll be like my prediction pain. So I think the defense is gonna play well. Like I said, I'm hyped for this defense. The defense is playing lights out right now. Offensive line looked like they were pretty good last week. I hope they keep it up. I think that's going to be huge. If Randy Gregory, if he doesn't play, that's going to be huge for us because he's their other pass rusher opposite of Bradley Chubb. So, and everybody, and this ain't a dogging out Mike McGlinchey type thing, but most people have success against that man, especially speed rushers.
Mm-hmm.
And Randy Gregory, that's what he is. So, I'm gonna go 23-20 Denver.
All right. I'm going 17-3 49ers. Let me get everybody else's here so I don't miss anybody. Joel, 2013. 49ers. Mahoney's going Broncos too.
Yeah, I saw that.
You guys gonna let Tanya beat you again? She's going for 24-14. I'll show you guys what Tanya won for those that aren't on Twitter that didn't see. Once I'm done writing these scores down. $23.17 Broncos.
Same as Tanya's, huh?
She's like, I'm gonna go with what Tanya has because she seems to guess right. 34-21. If you're not putting the team next to it, I'm just guessing that it's 49ers. So
Ty said the worst prediction should get the Trey Sermon card. Hilarious. I like that.
That's funny. I did find another card today too that was in there from a player that we don't have.
David's prediction is exactly mine, except the opposite for the winner.
23-20 49ers. Let's see. Yeah, with the unpopular pick. 7-20.
Yeah. If we hold that Broncos team to 7 points, I'll be very impressed.
Well, they can't seem to score very well, so I think you're giving them too much. You're talking them up more than what they really are.
Well, that's saying if everybody's healthy, though. If Judy doesn't play, obviously it's gonna be different. But if it's Sutton, Hamler, and Judy with Russ and that running game, they have them to 7 points. It'd be pretty good.
There's no donkey emoji. All right, guys. Thanks for being patient.
Hope you're liking your hat, David.
Throwback 33-17. Swan 24-10. All right.
I think that was the last one, yeah.
All right. And if you didn't get in your prediction and you want to, then just still go ahead and throw it in there once I see.
Did you get Tia's prediction?
List.
Did you get Tia? She picked the same as Tanya and Dina. She had 24-14 as well.
24-14. All right. All right. Hopefully I got everybody. All right. So let me show you what Tanya got. So I had her give me this. Is what I'm going to do for everybody that wins. I'll have you guys give me your top 5 favorite 49ers, current 49ers players, and then I'll put you guys together a little package. So sometimes it'll be 3 cards, 4 cards, 5 cards, depending on, what I have for the, to try to get everybody like a fair value type thing. But this is what Tanya got. Let me turn on the light so everybody can see. All right, so her 5 players she had gave me were Debo, Bosa, Hufanga, Ayuk, and somebody. I don't know, somebody else, but that's somebody else I didn't give her, obviously, because I don't remember who it is. So start with, she got this Brandon Ayuk, got Game. Do that one last. Save this for last. Debo. Bosa. And our guy, Hufanga. This is a brand
She
new
said Trent
Hufanga
Williams.
card. Oh, yeah, Trent Williams. Yeah. I love that Hufanga card. We just got it in and she already took it away. So congrats again, Tanya. Thank you again for all your support all the time.
Hey, Mahoney, can you tell me your favorite player again? Because I didn't get it.
What?
Just talking trash to Mahoney.
Hey, Corey.
His top 5 players, it's all the same person, Danny Gray.
Oh. Well, then you won't get shit because there's no Danny Gray in there. All right. So, what else do we have to talk about? I don't know. I guess for this game, let me think. I was gonna see like what our best, our worst and best matchups are, but it seems like you're having a lot more confidence in this Broncos team than me because I can't even think of what the worst matchup would be because their team, I don't know, their defense is supposed to be that bright point, but they haven't even been playing that great.
Yeah.
So
well, I think I kind of called it. If Randy Gregory plays, if he has to be blocked by Mike McGlinchey might have a long day. I think Trent Williams will hold his own, obviously, but he's been playing a little shaky too. Trent Williams, he's been looking a little rusty, so maybe this day off, will help him out. But he's gonna be on Bradley Chubb, which I like that matchup. But Randy Gregory is a speed rusher, so like I said, if he plays this game,
this is the next giveaway.
Mike McGlinchey might have an issue. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm even worried about like DJ Jones going, against the center of that line or,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, him like against Jake Brendel or somebody or Spencer Burford. Yeah, that might be an issue too.
And then today actually too, this is funny when I was looking for Tanya's cards, I have found this Jimmy G card in there. So Ryan, if you don't behave, you're gonna get both of these. This bobblehead Jimmy G and Jimmy G card to go with it. I see some butt emojis in the chat, so Peachy must be in the building.
Yeah.
Hey Peachy. How you doing, sis? I hope you're well. I hope the family's well. I hope your dad and stepmom, everybody's doing well.
Let me ask you this. You think if Kittle plays, will he be used more as a blocker or will he be a receiving threat this game?
I would say, I mean, if the offensive line looks how it looks the past, 2 games, I would say in the passing game more. Okay. And especially not because of Jimmy G playing, but because of him playing and that, being where Jimmy G likes to throw to, that, Kittle's going to get used more. And I think that we need that.
Absolutely.
However, if, they start off and the O-line isn't able to hold up against their D-line, then obviously we're probably going to pull Kittle into block.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that, they can figure out something with some chips and whatnot to calm that defensive line down and Kittle can get out there in the passing game.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for. And then too, he's coming off an injury. So it's like he saw that too.
Yeah.
And then, he's coming off an injury. Look at Mahoney's comment after that hilarious. But then it's come off an injury too. Like you don't you don't want him to re-injure that groin. You know what I mean? So I don't know how if it's gonna be because I'm sure if it's like 85 to 90%, he's probably gonna play. But like you said, I hope he's used more. I hope his offensive line steps up and he's used more as a passing game because he's definitely. I don't think he's as good as a receiver as Kelsey. I think he's a better all around tight end. But I think he is. George Kittle is special when he gets the ball in his hands.
Yep. Let's do another giveaway and then we'll head on out of here. Is anybody going to the game? Who's going to the game? What's good? What's good?
That's hilarious. Haven't seen her in a while.
FTTT. She's too drunk. She can't be coming in. She has everybody blocked anyway. That's why she can't come in the spaces.
Faithful to the tray.
Yeah. Everybody drop your numbers. Let's do a giveaway. And I know I started off, like that we need to support this team, obviously, and that this specific podcast is going to continue to support the 49ers, regardless who's under center. Am I happy that Jimmy G is our quarterback again? No. But he is our quarterback again. And so I'll support him. I don't have to like him. I don't have to, but I'm not going to wish for him to fail because he's a part of our team, So if I'm wishing for him to fail, if he fails, then that's our team failing.
Then we're going to fail. Exactly. Yeah.
So, that's just stupid. At the end of the day, I'm a 49ers fan, over everything. So
I'm glad you said that too, because I've seen so much stuff, over the last week when people saying, I don't like Jimmy starting at quarterback. And then you got people like, well, if you don't like him starting at quarterback, then you don't fully support the team. And that's not true. Because if that's the case, I'm not a fan either. Because I was dogging Josh Norman all year, and so are 90% of us. So if you're gonna talk about one, then you talk about the other. Like, look how many people were talking about Richard Hightower. Oh, he needs to be fired. So if you're not supporting the special teams coach, does that mean that you're not a fan either? So let's stop with you have to like everybody on the team to support them, because that's far from the truth.
Yeah. Yep. And I've also seen a lot of people that are like, oh, well, since Jimmy G's back in there playing quarterback, I'm not going to support this team till next season. And well, then at the end of the day, you're probably not a real 49ers fan. Like, if you're going to go the whole season, the whole football season, but, I'm not going to watch my team play because Jimmy G's playing for them. Like, I could never do that. Like, I'll be going through like jonesing, like freaking going through sweats and stuff, trying to have freaking withdrawals from my team and stuff,
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
that's good to hear, Peach. I'm glad your dad and stepmom are doing better, but at the same time, I hope your uncle is, hope he gets better as well. So
yeah, me too.
I think everybody got their numbers.
Special teams has looked really, really nice.
Looks real good.
Yeah, such a huge improvement. Like it's like a night and day difference from last season already. And this is just 2 games in, like
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's looked really good. I think with Robbie Gould helping out Mitch too, that seems to be helping Mitch, because I don't know if he was getting leg fatigue or what, but ever since he turned over those other duties, like he's doing great as well.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a couple other things before we go to the drawings. What do you think about the extensions of Greenlaw and Mitch? He's a little premature on Greenlaw.
I don't know. I mean, I think the team, really likes him, and they think that they should probably sign him, hoping that if he balls out this season that, he's going to be then worth more, want more.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be happier if they find a way to keep Aziz as well.
Yeah, same.
Like if we were able to pay Aziz and be able to keep all 3 of them together, like that's a scary, linebacker room. Yeah.
It's crazy. Symmetry. Yeah, that's the exact. I think they're all like what, like mid-20s or so.
Hmm.
They're all really young. Symmetry actually brought it to my attention, and I didn't even know this because I guess as much I don't pay attention to punters like that. Mitch Wisnowski's already 30 years old. Did you know that?
Yeah. Yeah. He was old
Man,
when he was in the draft.
that's crazy. Yeah,
Hmm.
he was like, yeah, he's 30. I was like, he's 30. I was like, and I looked, I was like, oh wow, yeah,
Yep. Yeah. So that's one of the things like that I was feeling like, I don't know, like already that we drafted him too high, I felt. And then you're paying him, like, why not just draft another one? Like, has he been
yeah,
that great that you can't replace him in the draft? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. But whatever.
yeah. Everybody got their numbers in.
So your dog's
Jeez.
just chilling there in the background.
Yeah, she chilling. I'm knocking my pillows on the floor too.
She
You see my
did.
pillow on the floor?
Yeah. Like, get this shit out of my way. Why are you putting your pillow on my bed? All right. Let's draw. See what we got. Good luck. Good luck. 60.
60. Okay, let me go back to
60
the
is
top.
right.
Started with Corey. Let me see. 49er minor got 59. He was one away from getting that card. Let me see. 59 for that. 50.
I think that's the
Oh, but
closest.
yeah. Let me see. Yep.
Yep.
59.
Dang, one away. Wah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Let's see what you got. Let's see. Hey, Aaron. Good to see you. I'll take Mitch over Bradley, your opinion. Yeah, same, but I feel like we should just do like we did with them. Like we did with Pinion. Okay, your shit's coming over. Okay, bye. We're replacing
Yeah.
you.
I feel like that's probably one of the easiest positions to replace.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's weird that we pay money, to a puncher, but
And a 4-year extension on top of that.
Trey Lance, it's a
Lance,
Trey
another
day.
one.
Congrats. See, don't worry, Trey. We got your back around here.
Yeah, I'm so glad. And I was so happy when I saw that picture of Hufanga taking him lunch.
Yeah.
That was awesome. He's starting to become one of my favorites already. Like, he just seemed like he's such a team guy too.
I've been loving him ever since his very first draft video.
They
Like after
drafted
we
him.
drafted him, the
Yeah.
very first video he did. Like I've been a fan of his ever since.
Nice.
Just because, like that energy, that just the way that he is, the person he is, even just off the field. Like I love that. But yeah, hopefully, we can go in there. I know that you predicted that the Broncos are going to win, but hopefully we can go in there and kick ass regardless, and let the 49ers prove you wrong. Add you to the
I mean,
list. Add
I
you
hope
to a
so.
hater list.
Yeah. So I guess I'm gonna be a hater for 6 games this year because I got him winning. I got him going 11-6. So.
Are you gonna get me one, Bess? I want one. So you can, if you're going to get them, then just collect me up one, too.
It's funny. I think I'm one of the only fans who don't like jerseys like that.
I do.
I can't. I don't do
So
it.
any jerseys that you're planning on buying, TL, I'll take those ones too.
All right. Taylor Mays, he put a bad taste in my mouth. The other USC safety who actually didn't pan out for us.
Oh, you bought it his first year or what?
I bought it his first year, thinking he was going to be good, and then he was I think he was on the team for a season and a half, and then they let him go. And I'm just like, okay, like I'm never buying a jersey again. And if I do, it'll be somebody old school, like a Jerry Rice or a
Yeah.
Roger Craig, somebody like that. It won't be anybody current because I feel like there's not really much loyalty nowadays either. So
Before we go, Aaron says, what do you guys think about the people peeing in their pajamas over Jimmy returning like he's Joe Montana?
for real.
I don't know if that's pee, but
See,
they're doing something in their pajamas.
But Sharp felt the same way. Said he was hyped over Taylor Mays. I thought, like, man, this guy was 6'3", 225. He ran a 4.27. I was like, man, this dude's gonna be an elite safety. He looked the part, just like Emiliano says, but he just didn't know. He didn't know how to take angles, and he was all straight line speed.
Yeah, PT says I just don't want them to underestimate Russ. I think if there's one person they shouldn't underestimate
It's
on that team,
him.
it should be him. Like I think the
Exactly.
49ers out of all people should, know. Like
Yeah,
they watched him kick their ass enough times to.
exactly.
And Tanya says she already ordered her Hafunga jersey, so
Nice.
must be nice.
Yeah, I'll
She
order
didn't
hats, I'll order t-shirts, but I just will not wear no jerseys.
she didn't put mine in with her order, I'm guessing, so.
No, what's up with that, Tanya? You got these nice cars. You can't look out for Mariah? No, I'm
I
just
know,
playing.
man. But yeah, let's go in there. Let's beat some Broncos, and afterwards we'll be right here to give you our overreaction, most
Mhm.
likely, but hopefully just an instant reaction. We try to keep it, a
Sunday night
little.
football, don't forget, 5:20 start, 5:15 kickoff or something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice game, so we might be sipping on something. So it might be an overreaction show after all.
I definitely gonna have some blue moons on deck. So
Yep.
yeah, it might be interesting.
So everybody have a wonderful rest of your week. Have a great and safe weekend. Have a wonderful game day Sunday, and we'll see you guys around.
I appreciate you guys.
Much love, fam.
Take care.